when I was real young.
Okay. Now, by the time you're 11 or 12, that's changed?
Yeah, because he would do things for me, like at school or at different places.
Can you remember, Mr. Menendez, the first time it occurred to you that your brother was on your side with respect to your parents?
With respect to my parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was that incident, the first time you felt he was your ally?
That was when I was 11. I was studying for final exams in 6th grade, and there was a house being built down the street, and my parents had left the house. And so I went outside just to kick around the soccer ball with Velvet, my dog, and I heard some noises coming, and so I went down the street to see who it was, and it was Brendan, a kid that I knew. And
was Brendan a kid that you were friends with when you were at Hopewell Valley School?
Yeah.
Did he live in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Was he, in fact, your only friend in the whole neighborhood?
Yes.
Sustained. The answer is stricken.
Did you have any friends besides Brendan in the neighborhood?
No.
Okay, so you found Brendan inside the house?
Yeah, and he was playing with 2 other girls inside
Okay.
the house. It was a new house being built, so anyway, the police showed up almost as soon as I got there, and I, not being aware of the situation, didn't get out of the house quick enough. But I ran because I was scared, and the police got Brendan and I and asked us where we lived. And I told them where I lived, and Brendan went to his house, and he told me to go back to my house and that the police was going to go talk to my parents. And so
Okay.
I hid out in the forest, and I heard the policeman talking to my brother.
Okay, and what did your brother, so you heard the policeman telling your brother that you had been in this house?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened after that told you that Lyle was your friend?
Well, I heard the policeman saying to Lyle that a little kid like me at the time should not be in this house because there could be, he said, hobos and bums at the time, and I was just so afraid that Lyle was going to tell Mom and Dad. I was sure of it, and I figured that he had to. And so I didn't say anything to Lyle, and Lyle didn't say anything to me, and I wrote out a big, long entry in my journal and left it on the table so that my parents would see it before they got really angry at me and understand the situation.
Well, I don't understand. You wrote an entry in your journal about what?
About what happened that night.
Where you would...
Just pretending it was my diary, but leaving it open on the table.
So that you could explain how you wound up in the house?
So I knew my mom would snoop and read, so she would just read it and understand what happened before Lyle told Mom and Dad what happened.
Okay.
But he never did.
And you did that for what purpose? Why did you want her to know what happened before Lyle told her?
So that I wouldn't get punished as bad.
Okay. So what happened?
Lyle never told Mom and Dad.
And how did that make you feel about him?
I began to realize that Lyle was on my side.
Now let's go back then to the tennis court when you're 11 or 12. What happened between yourself and your father that day?
I was on the same side of the court with Lyle, with Dad, and Lyle was on the other side. And I wasn't moving my feet enough. I had to keep my feet moving for all the time I was on the tennis court, and I was tired, and I was dragging my feet. Finally, he just got too angry with me after telling me enough times to move my feet.
Who's he?
My father.
Okay.
So he just grabbed me and lifted me up onto the fence a few feet off the ground and ripped my shirt. And Lyle came running over, and he wasn't going to interfere with Dad, but he just said, it's okay, calm down, quietly behind Dad. Dad didn't hear me.
He's making this gesture to whom?
To me.
To try to calm you down?
Yeah, I was crying.
And why do you think he was trying to calm you down?
Because he loved me.
Objection sustained. The answer is stricken.
Okay. Would your father react in a certain way if you were crying versus if you weren't crying when
Yes.
he was angry?
Yes, if I wasn't crying, it wouldn't be as bad. And so he was trying to get me to stop crying so Dad wouldn't.
Okay. And what happened after that?
Dad threw me in the basement and just lectured me. Nothing really happened that bad.
And why does this stick out in your mind? Why is this so significant that your brother did this?
Because the incidences where my brother helped me, either with other people or with my mom and dad, just really stick out in my mind. I don't know why.
Okay.
They